Hey ladies, welcome to Mindset Monday. I am actually doing this one day ahead. Holla, high-fiving myself. Okay, so today we are going to talk about something I like to call dealing with horrible people, aka dealing with really shitty people and not letting it affect us emotionally. This is actually something that I've developed over my years that I used to be really, really bad at, and now I pride myself on being excellent at. I used to get very upset, discouraged, and worked up when I would have bosses or in laws or, people that I lived with who would like be rude to me or horrible to me. And I would just take it so personally, or like even if I wasn't taking it personally, it would make me so upset and it would like ruin my whole day. So I just want to talk about a couple tips that I like to use. Um, I'm going to say them kind of in order, depending on your situation, depending on the person. Some of these are going to work better than others, and you kind of have to like get the confidence to use them. So the first thing I want to say is don't let it mean something about you. For example, I used to have a really crappy boss. I'm not going to say who, but I had a really crappy boss that would make a mistake and then like to blame me for that mistake happening when it was not my fault at all. And because that person was my boss, they felt like they could shit on me and put all of the blame on me. And sometimes I would be, not as strong as I am now, and I would feel so upset that she was putting the blame on me and that everyone in the, restaurant would think that it was my fault when I knew that it wasn't my fault. So I'm going to say the first step really is to not let it mean something about you. You know what you've done. You need to choose to not let that person's words be anything about you, okay? They are saying words based on their mindset and their thoughts, and it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with how they are thinking about the situation. They could think about the situation differently, but they're choosing to think about it in this way, and they're projecting their bullshit onto you. So just don't absorb it. Just do not let it become absorbed. Okay. Secondly, one of my favorite things that I always like to say to people, don't give those people the satisfaction of getting upset. Often people like these they're bullies. They thrive on being the person who can make others cry. They're people who really enjoy talking down to people, to give themselves an ego boost. I think we've all dealt with those type of people, especially if you've worked in customer service, which I worked in for a long time. People are dicks. And some people are very aggressive, and some of us can be really sensitive to aggressive people if we've dealt with a lot of aggression in the past, or maybe we've been in situations where we've been hurt by people or parents or ex-boyfriends or husbands. So one thing that I think is so powerful is to not get upset. And one thing that I'll say is that sometimes those people will then try and take one more step to really try and make you upset. Do not cry. Even if it hurts you, even if you want to lose your mind, you are giving, oh my gosh, you are so powerful in that moment if you can stand there and just look at them do that to you. And sometimes what I like to do is almost have like this feeling of like, I'm just going to numb myself right now. And I'm not going to allow myself to like dive into, tears or like let my brain go there. I'm just going to like absorb, like just be numb to the situation. But I'm telling you that not crying and not screaming back and not getting angry and not engaging in that behavior that they want from you, that is powerful on its own. If there's anything I can say, it is do not engage in the bullshit that they're trying to pull from you, because that, when you do give in, when you do scream back, when you do cry, they feel so good about themselves, and then they can also use that against you. Do not give them that to use against you. Okay? My next one is, and this is really dependent on the situation. So, let's say you are working in a retail store, okay, and this woman wants to come return her jeans, and you can just tell by the way she's walking in that she's coming in mad. She comes up, throws her jeans down, starts yelling at you. You're gonna give me a refund, freaking out, like, how dare you sell me these jeans? There was a stain on them. Whatever she's saying, she's losing it, okay? Again, step 2, don't engage in yelling. Don't engage in yelling. Stand there, let her do her thing. And then I like to smile or laugh. And again, this is very situationally dependent, but I like to just kind of smile until they realize that they are being so ridiculous. Like, just be like, are you done? Like, are you done? Okay, cool. So now that you're done, like, let's talk like adults. And why that's so powerful is because you are telling your own brain that, like, you aren't allowing this person to make you upset, and like you are in control of that, your emotions during that situation. Because I used to be a person who, if someone yelled at me, it would get me going, it would get me so fired up, right? So I prefer to live in a reality in my world where I'm not a person who engages in yelling and engages in fighting and engages in those types of situations. So I choose to smile and wait for them to finish. Again, because in my life, my boundaries are I speak to other adults like adults. And if they aren't speaking to me like an adult, then I'm not going to engage in that conversation until they decide that they're going to speak to me in a way that I think is respectful enough to be spoken to. So again, stand your ground, wait for them to finish. All right, the next one, this one's really good, just like communication skill in general, is repeat back to them what they're saying for clarity. So again, let's go with this woman who's returning her jeans. She's losing her shit. So you wait for her to finish yelling. Okay, so you're saying to me that we sold you a pair of jeans yesterday. When you got home, you saw that there was a stain on them, and you're coming in today because you would like to return them for a different pair. So you can see that, like, I'm listening to her, I'm absorbing the information, I'm returning the information back on her without the emotional bullshit that she's projecting onto me. Because I could be like, what stain? Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? I didn't say you... Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's a stain or not. Why are you here? What are you looking for? What are you asking for? What do you need from me, right? No emotions. Don't absorb her emotions. So repeat back to them for clarity. She will probably rebuttal with something really rude and arrogant and horrible again. Awesome, no problem. She gets to live in her angry reality and you get to live in your calm one. Okay, I'm hearing you say that you feel tricked that I sold you this pair of jeans. I'm sure that wasn't the intention of the salesperson. Maybe it was. I'm pretty sure, knowing my staff, that wasn't the intention. It was probably just a mistake. But again, I just want to reiterate that you would like a new pair of jeans. Do you know what jeans you would like to change them for? Take the wind out of their sail. Like, you know why they're mad. So skip over the emotion. Ask them what they're looking for. And like, just again, like, just make like a tunnel through all the dark bullshit. I think I kind of said this one before, but have clear boundaries of words and actions you are willing to tolerate and not tolerate. So that's one thing that I find that if you're a person who's worked a lot of minimum wage jobs, that, in my experience anyways, that these people who employ minimum wage workers are often very, very cruel to minimum wage employees, as well as a lot of people in general treat employees who work at minimum wage really terribly. For example, like if you're working at Dairy Queen, or if you work at a clothing store, if you work at Walmart, like these people are often shit on constantly. And it can be very hard to set boundaries in workplaces like that because you're so like disposable. Any job really, like I know in Alberta especially, that having a job is really important. And losing your job can be horrible and detrimental to your family and your life. And I absolutely understand that you don't want to ever put yourself in that kind of jeopardy. But from what I've experienced in my life is that these people are often not spoken to respectfully without emotion back. So when I do this to people, how do I say this? They often respect me more than if I had played their game. So at first they might be really like, shocked that I would not have the reaction that they were looking for. If they're trying to make me cry, if they're trying to make me upset, if they're trying to be rude, and I don't give them anything, often those people change their behavior quickly because they realize I'm a person who respects myself and that I won't tolerate their behavior regardless of who they are or their rank of power over me. And I hold this boundary true to the end. Like, it is something that I hold so dear. Like, I don't care if you are the CEO of Synovus. I don't give a fuck. You still do not get to speak to me in a disrespectful way. You do not get to scream at me. You do not get to break the law. You do not get to sexually harass me. I don't care who you are. I have that boundary. That is what I'm willing to tolerate. And I will, to the end, respect that boundary for myself. And I'm telling you that when you respect yourself, it shocks people and they respect you. They usually will respect you more because you are respecting yourself. So just a little tidbit there, like, it can seem really scary. And like, don't get me wrong, it took me a lot of jobs and a lot of practice to get that line for myself, but it has been so rewarding to work and live in general with respect for myself. It really develops true confidence to be able to say no and to say, that's not okay. That is not okay for me. I really hope that you can grow with that and learn ways to do that for yourself. And if you ever want to talk more about that, please let me know, because something I hold very dear, and I try so hard in my life to show other women how to set those boundaries in a really unemotional way to protect themselves, to really protect yourself. Okay, I'm gonna get emotional about that one. Anyway, okay, so number 6, and this one I think is one that gets overlooked a lot. And that is, after the situation has happened, after whatever person has done whatever to you, I want you to let it go. And that means don't keep having conversations about it. Don't call your mom and your sister and your cousin and your brother to tell them about the shitty person you had at work. And why I say this is because the more we talk about something, the more worked up we get about it. Let's say you had a bad dream, a really, really bad dream, okay? In the morning, you could wake up and you have that bad dream. And if you tell 5 people about it, your brain is going to for sure remember that dream for the entire day, if not forever. But if you woke up in the morning after having that bad dream and you said, you know what? I don't want anything to do with that negative situation I just had. I don't want to tell anyone about it. I don't want to even remember it. So I'm just literally just going to let it go. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to live in it a second longer. And I think a lot of people think that talking through something negative helps them or makes them feel better. And it really is proven, in psychology that talking about negative things or talking about things that have happened to you or bad experiences that have happened to you does not make you feel better about them. Okay, it is just secondary trauma to that situation, and your brain cannot understand that it's not happening again. So it's like when we think about our past, let's say something really horrible has happened to you in the past, okay? If you sit and dwell on it and think about it and replay it, your brain thinks it's happening again. Your brain actually cannot tell like what emotional response to give differently in a thought about something versus an actual moment in that situation. You have the same production of hormones and emotions, thinking and actually experiencing. So I'm telling you, let it go, like physically let it go, and do not continue to talk about it and dwell on it. It does not make you feel better to tell someone else that that person was an asshole. It doesn't. You know what feels better is thinking in your mind, like, I handled that really well and I'm really proud of myself for how I handled that. And I'm okay with like anyone talking to me like that, and I would give them the same response because I'm okay with how I treated myself, and I'm really glad that I stood up for myself. That thought makes you feel better. Telling everyone that they're a dick doesn't make you feel better. It just makes you feel worse. So let it go. Okay, I'm gonna finish there because I feel like I've really been talking a long time today, but I hope that this video gives you some new tactical ways to like handle shitty situations, because let me tell you, being a bartender for 6 years, not the best place for harassment. Let me tell you, I developed these skills the hard way, and now, like, really, honestly, I could be in a room with anybody. I don't care who it is, anybody, and I will handle myself the same way because of that boundary within me. Okay, I'm done for today. Please let me know what you think of this video, and if you guys have any other tips for this situation, I'd also love to hear that. Bye, guys.